You said the NYPD is currently facing a policing crisis. Why?
Yeah, I think when you look at the fact that we have close to 4,000 officers that's capable of retiring come the new year, and if they do leave, that will create a lot of shortages, and recruitment's not keeping up with that. So a lot of things that we're doing now in the city that's going to come from City Hall is going to impact the numbers going forward, and that could lead to the city being less safe. Or if they get it right, we could be where we were for this past couple of years with crime reduction.
What are you hearing from rank and file officers?
I think there's a lot of fear over the civilian control of the police department going up, what he's going to do with the civilian complaint review board, and also just their overall attitude towards policing. We want to see an administration come in that's not full of people who are anti-police in that administration, because that's going to lead to tensions, and it could also lead to cops wanting to leave. And if they do leave, the replacements are not sitting there waiting for them.
Have you seen resignations or people simply retiring accelerate since Mamdani was elected?
Well, I think we'll see when it comes to rank and file police officers what happened. When it comes to executives, I think when you look around at commissioners around the city, they'll be very concerned. When you have a new mayor come in, transition is normal. You will see a lot of coming in and a lot going out. But those that want to stay, I think, especially in the police department, I think their concern would be, what is the treatment going to be like, not just by the mayor, but by the people that he surrounds himself with in his administration, because that's just as impactful.
Speaking of commissioners, he is keeping Commissioner Jessica Tisch, who is credited with making some valuable department changes. Do you think that's a hopeful sign here?
I think for the short term, yes. We have to see how that relationship is going to work out. I think Commissioner Tisch has fundamental disagreements with the way in which he wants to police the city than what the mayor-elect and soon-to-be mayor will want policing to look like in the city. So how long can that relationship last? How long can they be harmonious? That remains to be seen. But I think all of the New Yorkers want to have hope, because we want to see the city safe. As this city goes, this whole country goes in many ways. We cannot have the city going backwards in terms of crime and quality of life.
NYPD has reported that violent crimes have gone down. Tisch actually posted on X Christmas Eve that New York City has recorded 1,000 fewer shooting victims so far this year than in 2021, 235 fewer than last year. That has to be a good trend, right, Tarik?
It is absolutely a good trend when we talk about violence. But the one thing we have to remember is most New Yorkers don't experience shootings. What they experience and what their felony is quality of life. And the concern is that Mayor Mamdani has talked about minor crimes, that he doesn't want to see a crackdown. He wants to loosen the strings on minor crimes. And that's what leads to your major crimes. We have to remember the reason why we got to these reductions in major crimes and shooting violence and all these other things is because we cracked down on quality of life. Things like gambling, things like loud noise, large crowds, the motorcycle gangs that were riding around, and the dirt bikes. When you crack down on that, you're cracking down on your street violence.
We were talking about defunding the police a moment ago. We know that created a lot of controversy when then-elect Mamdani even expressed doing that. He seemed to soften his view. So does that change anything moving forward for so many officers still in the department?
Well, I think for the police, they're going to have to see, right? When you say certain things, words they say are spirits, right? And so some of those things hurt, and he's coming in to a police department that he's going to try and earn some trust with them, because some of the rhetoric, I'm sure, was just campaign things to be elected. But once you hear it, it puts you in fear of the person who is taking over the reins in City Hall. And you know, the police are always, especially the rank and file, the sergeants, the cops, the detectives, they're always going to work hard. They've been through so much of these past few years, and he's still keeping safe. So that's not the concern here. But when you have a mayor that has formally called for policing to be defunded, it's a big concern for the cops, and it will remain to be a concern until he's been in office for a while, and they can build some trust with him.
On the campaign trail, Mamdani did talk about creating a new civilian agency to tackle homelessness and mental illness issues instead of police officers. What's in place now, Tarik, that doesn't seem to be easing the homeless crisis in our city?
Well, the police should not be the front of homelessness and mental health. But until you have something new, be careful how fast you replace it.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.